Now, before you get mad at me for the title and thumbnail, I'm being provocative for a reason. I usually try to avoid making negative content. The internet is negative enough as it is. No matter what you're talking about, odds are you're talking about somebody's favorite thing. But I do think this is a lazy cash grab to milk the nostalgia caused by the Mario Galaxy movie. And Star Fox fans, you guys deserve better than a remake of Star Fox 64. Again, the lineup of games for the series is depressing. We have the original on Super Nintendo, a sequel that didn't see the light for decades until the release of the SNES Classic, Star Fox 64, which is kind of just the first game. Again. Then we got 3 games no one really cares about. A remake of Star Fox 64 on 3DS, so Star Fox 64. Again, Star Fox Zero, a universally panned game that ultimately was trying to be 64 again. And now Star Fox, which is Star Fox 64 again for the 3rd time, which is just the original Star Fox again for the 4th time. But that's not my only reason why I'm upset that they're remaking it again. A part of my disappointment with this game is that I think they're making it for a depressing reason. The Super Mario Bros. Movie came out in 2023, and its sequel was announced a year later, which does feature Fox McCloud. And I think that caused Nintendo to make a Star Fox game to release alongside the movie. Even in the direct, they mentioned the cameo before they say anything about the game. But due to only having 2 to 3 years to make a new game, it really depends when they decided to include him in the movie. They didn't really have a lot of options. They couldn't have made something new and interesting. They didn't have the time, so they had to go back. Porting Zero off of the Wii U will never be an option. It's an actual waste of time and effort to port a game that very few people enjoyed. The internet did not treat Adventures and Assault nicely, so porting those games to NSO will only piss off those people. Remaking them runs the same risks as porting Zero. No one ever talks about Command, so I'm just going to move on from that one. So the only thing they could have done anything with quickly was the SNES game, its sequel that I don't think anyone really cares about, and the N64 game that's just the SNES game again. What's frustrating is that Star Fox 64 is very clearly the best game to remake, but out of all of them, I don't think it needs one. It's playable on every Nintendo system that could possibly run it, except the GameCube. On previous hardware, it was done through the Wii and Wii U Virtual Console and the 3DS remake. And on Switch and Switch 2, you can play it on NSO. This move feels a lot like The Last of Us Part 1 for that reason. It doesn't need a remake because a playable version is already very accessible on PS5. I don't need a hyper-realistic version of Star Fox 64 because an accessible version is already on Switch. Sidebar about the graphics, I hate them a lot. It's giving Mario in Unreal, and I mean that in the absolute worst way. I wish it looked like those parts in the Mario Galaxy movie, or make everybody look like a puppet, like they were supposed to in the original. They threw away the original's graphical design, and instead of replacing it with something new and interesting because they don't have the time to, they made Fox look like that one meme. Falco is freaking me out. Slippy looks way too slimy. I hate it. The graphics look good, but they feel more like a UE5 Switch tech demo than a Star Fox game. This is going to be a nightmare on Guess the Game because it looks so basic. And they had no choice but to make it as generic looking as possible. They have a short window to release this game while everyone is pretending like they care about this series because of the Mario movie. And if you think that's mean, go look at how many people were calling him Star Fox after the movie came out. At this point, I firmly believe that Fox McCloud is more of a Smash character than a Star Fox character. This game is making me concerned that Nintendo is going to start making more decisions on games based off of the movies. Movies cost less, make more money, and take less time. It's something I fear PlayStation is doing too. I want to make a full video on it at some point, but I fear games are starting to get greenlit just so they can adapt them and make more money at the box office. Like, we don't need a Helldivers movie. We already have one. It's called Starship Troopers, and they're remaking it. Star Fox is the 2nd time this year that Nintendo is rushing out a port of an older game in step with the Mario movie. We only got Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 because of the movie. The Odyssey team couldn't get a new game out because they finished Donkey Kong last year. It's too soon for the team that put out Mario Wonder to make a new game, especially if they made the Switch 2 version. So the cornerstone of Mario's big 40th anniversary was a movie. The games were secondary to it. I don't want the movies dictating what we're getting on the game side of things, especially because these two movies are not appealing to me at all. Based off of the trailer, the first one wasn't down my alley, and whenever people talked about it, the first thing they brought up was always the references. That's not what I want to go see a movie for. And based off of what I've heard about the Galaxy movie, it seems like even less of a movie than the first one. Oh, it's a kid's movie. It doesn't have to be that deep. Okay, cool. Shut up. Go watch The Iron Giant or any of Disney's best movies and then tell me that again. I don't want these movies guiding the games, and it's seemingly guiding the Mario series and the Star Fox series. Another reason I'm not really excited for this game is that I'm kinda sick of remakes. I do think they have their place within the industry. For the audience, it can help make an inaccessible game accessible. For the devs, it can test the market for a new game and teach the talent what made previous games work. I truly believe we will get a new Paper Mario game that plays like the first two exclusively because of the TTYD remake, and will come out sometime in the next 2 to 4 years. That was a good game to remake. The series went to hell. TTYD costs way too much on GameCube and it was never ported. The original game was, so it would have been a mistake to remake it over TTYD. As I mentioned earlier, Star Fox 64 is very playable, and they already tried remaking it leading up to a new game, and that only gave us Star Fox Zero. So this tells me that they learned nothing and needed to run it back again. If you couldn't tell by how I'm talking about it, I don't really care about Star Fox, at all. I'm making this video to tell the fans that you deserve better, and a way to vent out my frustrations with the parts of the industry that this game represents. I want to be open about my bias towards this series to show you guys that my disagreement with this game isn't because I don't care about Star Fox. I want to talk about two other remakes that I feel the exact same way about, if not worse, because they're with series that I love. Halo Campaign Evolved is even more pathetic than Star Fox. In my opinion, it's going to be the most disappointing thing Microsoft has ever done with Halo. The thought of playing Halo 5, a game I've never touched in my life and have zero desire to play, sparks more joy in me than this remake. 343 remade Halo CE on 360 to learn the ropes of the series. Based off of what they did with Halo 4 and 5, they threw out whatever lessons they learned from it. Halo Infinite was a great step in the right direction. It might have Halo's best sandbox. So the last thing I want from the rebranded Halo Studios is remaking Halo CE again to learn the ropes again, but this time with no multiplayer. This is a game that I don't think should exist, and looking at it, it makes me sad that it does. Much like with Star Fox, it's a retread of a retread, and it's giving Mario an Unreal. It seems like a lot of the visual tone of the original game is gone, even more so than the last remake. While it might play smoother than the OG and 360 versions, I'd rather play the dated version of a game that has a soul than a heartless looking remake. And the same thing goes for Star Fox. So while I was editing this, I took photos of the two games and sent them to some buddies and asked them to guess which one was Halo and which one was Star Fox. And so far, only one person has guessed correctly. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's really bad if your Star Fox game looks this much like Halo. For the record, it's Star Fox on the left and Halo on the right. The other remake it reminds me of is one that I've been dreading since it got leaked. I am a massive Zelda fan. I have a mini shrine behind me, and I'm drinking from a Zelda mug while making this. Look at me. Don't remake Ocarina of Time. Please don't. Ocarina is even more accessible than Star Fox 64 is. It's on all of the same consoles, but has a GameCube version, and it also has a 3DS remake. There's almost nothing a remake of Ocarina of Time can do for me. The only way I would pick it up is if it was radically different. I don't mean in a way where the puzzles are completely different. I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy levels of different. Because of the Star Fox and Mario Galaxy ports, the only reason why I think we might be getting the Ocarina of Time remake this year is to hype up the Zelda movie next year. Assuming it's true. It's arguably the biggest name in the series, and it's a safe and quick tie-in. The Zelda team famously takes forever to finish a new game, so we're not getting anything around the release of this movie. That and the movie is not enough for the 40th anniversary, man. While I would be happy if they freed Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD from their Wii U prisons, those alongside the movie next year is not enough to make up for this lackluster 40th anniversary. Hell, give me a port of Link Between Worlds. There's so many interesting things they can do, but instead they're doing the quickest and safest bet just to release it alongside a movie that's probably not even going to be good. All of that is assuming that it's real. I'm praying to Hylia that it's not. If I am solving the exact same puzzles that I've been solving in an Ocarina since 2009, I'm out. I feel so bad for Star Fox fans, man. They're getting the exact same levels that they've been playing since the 90s. Again, with the same story that they've been playing since the 90s. Again. Like, I'd be fine if I didn't see Ganondorf for like a decade because he's been in so many games and I want something new. I cannot imagine what Star Fox fans feel towards Andross. This time the game has disgusting character models and bland visuals, with new checklist missions padding out the playtime to make it worth your money. Note, they did the same thing in the 3DS version by adding time trials. But hey, there's the VTuber thing you're going to try once and then never use again. And online multiplayer that you're going to play for like a week. It's fine if Nintendo wants to make all of their IPs into a multimedia franchise. Just like, make the games the center of the project, please. For all of the justified flack that Pokemon gets, at least they understand that the games are the core of the franchise. Games aren't made around the cards or the anime. Those things are made around the games. Funny enough, it is to the detriment of the games because they have to rush them to get all of the other stuff out, but there is a Goldilocks zone for it, and a new soulless remake of Star Fox 64 isn't in it. Star Fox fans have had it rough, and if this makes you happy, don't let anyone take it away from you. I just want you to know that you guys deserve better. And the last time they remade this game, they gave you guys 0. This game doesn't mean Star Fox is back. It means that Nintendo is trying to make $1 billion at the box office with a Star Fox movie. And if the games that we're getting are being driven by mediocre movies, it makes me concerned for any series involved. And that's why us Xenoblade fans stay winning, because there's no way in hell they're adapting any of those games. They're giving Monolith blank checks, and the only thing they have to do to earn them is to help them make a Zelda game. They get to stay in the medium that they were originally created for, completely away from Illumination. Do you agree? Think I'm an idiot? Comment down below. Like the video if you think I was being way too mean to Star Fox, and subscribe for more content. Follow me on other platforms if you want. Take care, guys.